White sugar starts with sugarcane, a tropical grass from Southeast Asia. People chewed the stalks raw for quick energy. The Gupta dynasty in India figured out how to boil the juice into solid crystals. When it reached Europe, it was treated like a luxury spice. Today, it's almost pure sucrose, completely neutral in flavor, which is exactly why it dominates baking worldwide. Brown sugar. White sugar with molasses, either left in or added back. The molasses gives it moisture and a deeper caramel flavor. That extra moisture is why brown sugar makes cookies chewier. In the early 1900s, sugar companies actually ran campaigns making brown sugar look unsafe to sell, more white sugar, and it worked for decades. Raw sugar sits between white sugar and fully unrefined sugar, sold as turbinado, demerara, or muscovado, still processed but less heavily than white sugar. The crystals are bigger, crunchier, and don't dissolve as quickly, which makes them perfect for sprinkling on top of muffins or crème brûlée for that satisfying crunch. Honey, the only sweetener not made by humans, made by bees. They collect flower nectar, process it with enzymes, and fan it until it thickens into syrup. Found in Tutankhamun's tomb, still edible after 3,000 years. Almost never spoils because it's acidic, low in water, and naturally produces hydrogen peroxide. Flavor depends entirely on which flowers the bees visited.
Maple syrup, one of the only sweeteners native to North America. It comes from maple tree sap, collected during a narrow window when winter shifts into spring. The sap itself is watery and barely sweet. It takes roughly 40 liters of sap to produce a single liter of syrup. All the flavor is created during boiling, where heat triggers chemical reactions that develop the characteristic taste. Maple sap doesn't taste like maple syrup at all. Canada produces around 70 to 80% of the global supply, and Quebec holds a strategic reserve of millions of kilos as a buffer against bad harvests. Molasses, what gets left behind after sugar crystals are extracted from sugarcane juice. The more times the cane is processed, the darker and more intense the result. First extraction gives light molasses, mild and almost caramel-like. Second gives dark molasses, more bitter and complex. Third gives blackstrap, thick, deeply bitter, almost medicinal. Blackstrap is the one sweetener where the mineral content is genuinely significant: iron, calcium, potassium, and magnesium in meaningful amounts. In 1919, Boston, a storage tank holding 2.3 million gallons of molasses burst and sent a wave 25 feet high through city streets at 35 miles per hour, killing 21 people. Jaggery, one of the oldest unrefined sweeteners still made today. Sugarcane juice or palm sap is boiled down into a thick paste, poured into molds and left to solidify. Nothing is removed. That's why it keeps minerals and flavor that refined sugar completely loses. In India, where production is highest globally, it's woven into festivals, traditional medicine, and everyday cooking. Sugarcane jaggery tastes smoky and deep, toffee and caramel with a slight earthiness. Palm jaggery goes further, sometimes carrying a faint fruity or wine-like quality, depending on which palm was tapped.